we do that what that ban was. But Cyclone, again, Kale making it through it. I think you take it up in this first rotation. You have to. I think because this game is far too much importance on it for you to lose. You lose this MNM and MNM along with XL and Xenix literally jump across from everybody else. And as I say that, the Camille open, and it looks like the Rengar is going to be picked up for the side of MNM.
Yeah, so it's still that kind of top lane pressure that we're talking about, trying to get your advantages through that. And we're talking about it, the top lane for Cyclone has always been strong, so if you can get him on a champion that lets him to do something with that advantage that he has, then maybe you have a chance. Camille is definitely the champion that you can do that on. The only problem is that there's so much left open that can deal with her. We saw Tempo having a fantastic Fiora game, which does quite well into Camille as well, so wouldn't be surprised to see that come through. And with the Rengar picked up as well, that's going to be a very happy Fiora in the jungle. He's going to be able to roam wherever the hell he wants. He can get even, go back to the mid lane, get Charlie T an advantage, hit that level 6, synchronize with the Varus and the other whatever support's going to be coming through. I'm sure it's going to be the likes of Zyra, Malzahar, Karma, whatever it is. You can then go visit that bot lane and pick up a very simple kill for yourself.
Yeah, we do see though the Zyra, Malzahar have been banned out by Cyclone, so they put a lot of pressure onto this support. But what do they take in response to this? I don't think the Karma, for as much priority as they put onto it, is that answer right now. As you see Ashe being picked up for the side of Cyclone, I think they're just not really playing this, like you said, they're just not playing the draft phase well at all.
Yeah.
And I don't really know where they go from here, because the jungler they've already lost priority on. I feel like the Camille pick for the Rek'Sai and the Rengar, well, I suppose you're getting the Rek'Sai against the Rengar, which is okay, but the Rengar can do so much more.
Yeah, and I think the thing is though, because you've seen such a pressure on the jungle, you have to take your jungler in this situation, because you just lose too much at that point. And we're actually going to see the Shen picked up, so now we're looking pretty much solely at this mid lane, and this is where the opportunity comes in for Cyclone to get rid of some of these mid lane bans, get Mac comfortable on something, because if you're going to leave it to the gods again, the RNG gods, which is kind of what we saw in the last one, this is just going to go poorly for you. So they need to try and ban away, focus their bans on that mid lane and try and get something for themselves.
Yeah, just to keep you guys updated on the stream, that third ban on the side of MNM was a missed ban, so they will not be getting that one back. That is a straight up miss. They didn't ban it in time. It's going to be Katarina. Again, could have been purposeful, because they mightn't want to have played the Camille, leave it open, get the Rengar. That's kind of a fair trade for your sense, and you get full priority on what AD carry you want as well, so it could be strategic as well, as Katarina and Rai is going to be the bans here. We're going to see a lot of mid lane bans. The next two bans have to be mid lane, and I think Cyclone gotta find something that works against Charlie T, maybe force him back onto that Corki and just try and out-rotate him like we saw in previous games.
Yeah, I'd say you're going to probably see the likes of the Cassiopeia ban come through here as well, more than likely, and an Orianna ban as well. Then that actually the Karma ban, so they're getting rid of the support now as well. So kind of saying, look, I suppose that works for MNM as well, because it kind of means that then there's more champions for them to work with. But we'll have to see exactly what then Cyclone do go for in this bottom lane, because we've seen them fall back to the likes of the Braum when the Karma hasn't been available. Could definitely end up going for something like that, particularly when you've got that Rengar there who wants to be going in. The Braum is pretty nice because he's got that Glacial Fissure to just go, no, this is it, you're not getting any further, kitty cat. So that's could definitely be something when you've got the Shen working, or sorry, not the Shen even, when you got the Rek'Sai working with that as well, the knock up for the Rengar, it means that he can go down very, very quickly, because yes, you're going to be, CC immune at some point, but if you're knocked up and knocked up again, you're actually not able to get the stacks to get the CC immunity there, so you can get that Rengar burst down pretty quickly before he has a chance.
Yeah, we see Echo was the last ban on the side of Cyclone, and they actually go with the Orianna, hovered the Syndra, and if I'm a player right now, if I'm an MNM shoot, this is a call out. I can play Orianna better than you, I can play Syndra better than you. You may have lost the Syndra-Orianna matchup, but if you pick into this one, I'm still going to beat you. That's exactly what that says to me, and it's a huge call out. Does he go with the Corki? He does pick that one up for himself. That will be going to Matt in that mid lane, so they have got the double split push, the kind of the huge tower split push capabilities. But who do they go support? I do like the Braum. I think the Braum will be a good pickup. I think the Braum will be locked in, as it is for Cyclone, and that's the one you got to go for. I think you just got to try and go for AoE team fights, keep your carries alive, keep the Corki and Ashe alive, and let Camille, Rek'Sai, and Braum just take up the front line.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm kind of looking at on the side of Cyclone Gaming though is when we start to get to that Baron, at the later stages again, the 25 minutes into the game, if the game is still going even, how do you try and push into the the back of the Baron pit into that red side jungle to get vision down, because you're going to be walking into the likes of a Varus who is excelling in those tight corridors, but you're also walking into a Rengar who could be in any kind of bush. He's got massive follow-up, and then you've just got the Orianna ult that comes through, again excels in these tight corridors. So the vision control for Cyclone is actually going to be very difficult the later this game goes, because the more you have to start face checking these brushes, the riskier it gets and the more you've got to lose, because there's so much there can just stop them. And even if they do end up getting caught out, go that little bit too far to make the pick, you've got the Tahm Kench to solidify that, take them back out, and just give them the opportunity to reset, even if it looks like the fight's going poorly.
Yeah, we have got the last pick was the Tahm Kench, as you mentioned. Keeps the AD carry safe, keeps the carries safe, can flash in, eat the Rengar, eat the Orianna if they get caught out, and just bring them away. Got huge amounts of versatility and utility, especially good early game harass with that Tongue Lash on the early games, because it does percentage max health at the or current health, I think it is, on that early game. So again, going to be good against the Braum, going to be good if it can land it onto the Ashe. I want to see what Cyclone bring us. I want to see if they, you forget about last game. Last game is in the past. Yes, you got rolled, you got bodied. It doesn't matter. You got to think of this game. You have to get a draw out of this. Otherwise, you are separating yourself from the pack that is the top 3. And
exactly.
It's just too early in the season for you to be really going for that. But given everything, given how convincing that last game was, and given the picks that have come out of it, I'm still going to lean towards MNM. It's the different MNM. It's the first week MNM we saw, rather than the Xenix MNM, as I like to call it, and I still feel like they're going to take the series.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you on that one. And even, I mean, everything that Cyclone kind of want to do, MNM have an answer for. So, even when you've got the Camille who wants to go in, the Tahm Kench can eat the person. Yes, he can't leave that zone, but he can still keep whoever that squishy is safe from everything that's coming his direction. The Rek'Sai, yes, you've got the Tremor Sense, but how do you try and push in to get that vision when you've got the likes of the Varus there, when you've got the likes of, the Orianna and that there? And even then, when you've got the Corki who's going to be roaming, where do you go? You can't roam to the bottom lane, because, you put all your damage onto Deadly. Hado just eats him up and gobbles him and brings him to safety. You go to the top lane. Tempo is going to be super tanky. It's very difficult to get anything there. So it's just going to be tough for them to make the early game work.
Yeah, we going to have to see exactly how Cyclone deal with this as well. And Furion has a lot to prove. He's got a lot to kind of push up from that last game. The Tongue Lash, Hado. Oh, the good early game Braum. And that's going to be a lot of damage. First blood going over to Latch, and it's blue side all the way for these first bloods.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know why you're there. I mean, yes, you're trying to get the vision down, but you got to move as a team. You can't be moving as a singular unit there. And
but he tongue lashes, sees there's someone there,
and goes anyway,
and then just keeps going. It's like, what are you doing, my friend? That's not exactly what I do. It doesn't blow summoners, but again, it's power. It's a long sword going into that bot lane that will just help them deal with the Varus Tahm Kench. And again, it's mentally as well. It's a tilt kind of thing as well. Is that like you realize that you just got caught out. Yes, Braum's level 1 is fantastic, but you've just given over a free kill and a free 500 gold.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why she's already picked up the longsword as well for herself. So Ashe is already well on her way to, doing pretty well. Yeah, Tempo wanted to be a nuisance here, but not really able to get in. But that, it's just... He was just kind of trying to bluff, like, yeah, I swear I've got the rest of these guys behind me, and it's just play it safe. Yes, you're a game up, but you don't need to get cocky with it.
Yeah, they did have a ward in that bush as well, kind of like a little death bush, and it was like, we know no one's there. And it's just kind of like, that guy who's like, oh, I have like 7 big friends with me, and it's like, dude, you don't. Yeah. Okay, we can take you, it's fine. But already we're seeing the push in as well coming out from Cyclone, and this is a good start for them. This is exactly the kind of start they needed. Be interesting to see how the Camille happens as well, because we are very used to seeing Kerbos using these top lane kind of bullies and kind of thing, but never really with his team. He's kind of solo doing it himself, and Shen in that last game was scary. Nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know, that's the thing, what way this is going to go. I mean, you could definitely see Kerberos have the opportunity to turn around if he's left to his own devices in that lane, but that's the thing, we don't know if he's actually going to be. We've seen pressure coming out from Charlie T up to that top side, where he's roamed up in the last game on the Syndra and pushed that advantage that he had. Could end up seeing a very similar, especially when you've got, the taunt is such an easy skill to lock up and then get the shockwave to come through as well. Can even stop Kerber's mid-hook shot as well if he gets that correctly. So could definitely see him try and make those plays up in the top side.
Yeah, we're already seeing Matt. He's very afraid of this Orianna right now. Does not want Charlie T to get any kind of advantage against him, and it's kind of something he needs to be very, very careful about as well. And already chugged through all 3 of his corrupting potions, so that is not a situation you want to be in, especially this early in the game.
Yeah, it's pots blown on both sides, but only 2 for the Orianna, and Charlie T is quite happy to just stick around in this lane, whereas it's Matt who has to back away. So again, this early advantage going over in the mid lane, and it's just poor play coming out from Matt. There's no reason for you to take that much damage from the Orianna at this stage of the game.
We'll go back, we'll pick up a Ruby Crystal. We see a Unbreakable. We come into Deadly and Latch, just trying to trade some equal damage as Hado and Camilius just stand on the backside. They don't want to be touched. They don't have any reason to fight. They just want to be supports. They want to support you, but, you know, not in a violent way.
Just like waving banners and stuff in the background.
Yeah, go do the thing.
You show that CS.
That's why Banner of Command is a support item. It's a banner to say, like, look at you, you're doing great. That's amazing. That's fantastic. I'm glad I now understand Riot's reasoning for items. But again, first kill went over. It's still only about 400 gold. Still only that kind of little bit. We are seeing a small advantage in the mid lane and pretty much even Stevens in the top and mid. But yeah, we're seeing this again where, you know, Matt went back, had to try and go for this kind of early back to try and get something out. And he's still getting out-traded.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He could see the pressure coming through from Furion there as well, wanting to make something happen, but he gets pinged out, so gonna go just clear his own Gromp. So that'll give Demo even an idea of where Rengar is and what he should be doing, because by exiting down the bottom side, it means he's got at least 2 camps still there. So that means he will be finishing these up fairly soon and making his way into that top side, but he knows that then there's no reason for Rengar to be in there. Could end up making something happen, but with Shen so far pushed under the tower, it's doubtful.
Yeah. These early items from Matt is incredibly greedy. Like, you're losing the lane, you're not CSing properly, you pick up a Dorn's Blade. Yes, it's not as super efficient. Yes, you do end up having 2 kind of consumable items that you're going to get rid of. But you still pick it up. It gives you the extra health, it gives you the extra lifesteal, and gives you extra damage. The Ruby Crystal, obviously going towards the Triforce, is super, super, like, greedy in this early stage, especially when you're going down about 10 CS in the first 5 minutes. It's just not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the reason that Dorn's Blades and the Dorn's items in general don't build into anything. They're so cost efficient that it would be unfair if they did actually build into stuff, because everyone would just build them. So it's not bad to just go, cool, I'm losing this lane, I'll just give myself a little bit of a staple, because yes, you're going to lose it, but in the end it'll work out. And now he's just going to have, like, he's already backing up, he's losing a lot of health again down to that half HP, and it's just pressure again and again coming out from Charlie T.
The gold almost equaled out as well, just purely from farm in the top side and in the mid, mainly in the mid lane. As we see Furion looking for a little bit of invade, trying to find Demo. He'll just back away though as he just pops down a little bit of vision. Make sure he keeps himself alive. And I see already 10 CS in this mid lane. There is a huge wave coming in, so shouldn't be too hard for the Camille to pick that all up. Just wait to see now exactly what's the first port of call for these 2 sides. First Dragon is a Cloud. They haven't exactly been the greatest RNGs in the world.
Yeah, I think what's really going to be the explosive part of this game is as we hit these level 6 points, look at the amount of global pressure that comes out from MNM in this case. You've got Hado on the Tam Kench who can bring anyone he wants to the mid lane. You've got Tempo who can do the exact same. So suddenly mid lane becomes a party if you wanted to. You can have all 5 members show up there suddenly, and when Matt's already far behind, you can put so much pressure down, dive it super easily, and have the Hado just eat you on the way out. So next thing you know, you've got that mid lane turret gone as well. So there's a lot of team play that can come out from MNM if they decide to use it. It's just a case of if and when they decide to.
Yeah, see MNM trying to trade back in against Cyclone's bot lane. Latch doing a good job of just keeping himself away. Is behind in CS though at the moment. See the Triforce makings for Camille being picked up, the Sheen and what looks like to be most parts of a Phage. Just needs to be combined together through magic and forgery. It is always kind of weird. It's just like, I have a rock, I have a sword, it's now a hammer. Okay. Well, actually, that's not bad.
That's okay.
That kind of works. You just stick it on top. Yeah, I suppose. See, this is why we talk. I learn new things about things.
We're learning all things about Riot items today.
Yeah. But again, oh, red buff kind of spazzing out a little bit. But again, like you said, these ultimates, the global pressure, Charlie T being able to kind of put down this pressure as well. He's about 15 CS up, which is, we talked about him not being able to do anything on Corki. It's kind of the same thing for Matt. Matt should not be this far down in this lane.
But that's why he's just had to back up so many times and has to relieve the pressure because he just can't put up with what Charlie T is doing. And because of that, he's falling so far behind. But realistically, part of this is on Demo as well. You're on the early game jungler. Make the early game pressure happen. So far, he's just been a farm bot and done nothing for his team. He needs to be trying to make these proactive plays. Level 6 has been hit by Rengar, and this is where he comes online. Demo has missed his chance to really get a leg up for his team before Furion can answer.
Yeah, Matt, very telegraphed actually. Gonna miss a cannon wave as well.
Oh, this is poor communication. You don't start up the blue right as the wave is hitting the tower. This is just so poor.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh, no, never mind. He'll get it. Good job. Oh, as you see, Matt gonna go in. They're gonna force the ghost out of Charlie T and the flash. They did have Braum coming up for extra support, but here comes the Tam Fury on 3-man shockwave! And that is going to be huge for MNM as they look to re-engage the fight. Glacial Fissure was used, but that shockwave was massive.
That shockwave was beautiful. 3-man, right exactly where they needed to be, and that was the level 6 we're talking about. Instantly able to get in and help out. Hado was able to come through, and they didn't even need the Shen ultimate, so that's still available if needs be. And right as we were talking about it, Furion has the pressure now. Demo left it too late.
Deadly gets hit by the crystalline channel now, but it's traded back, and here comes the extra support. Flash by both AD carries means they both end up losing that summoner, but Deadly picks himself up a kill. And I think I feel something very, very similar coming in right now. They are going to push in this bot lane, but we do see Matt on the backside trying to go for it. I don't think he can save this, even with the package. Does he even try and go for this?
I think he needs to, but they can just keep pushing through. Tempo tank one shot, and then
oh my god,
there you go. This is just Cyclone are too far behind the play. Picks up the package, yeah, already, and tries to go into the bottom lane, but he ends up hovering around for too long, doesn't get in time. And where was the call? Where was the call to say Shen ult is still up, don't fight on bot lane? Because he ulted for that. That was the choice of Latch to fight that, and there was just nothing that they could answer for in that situation. Now we're going to see it's Hado already moving up towards that top lane. Varus is backing at the moment. They're going to try and save this tower, but that's a lot of members of Cyclone up there.
There's a lot of members. Furion getting taken a little bit low. There is a nice Tam Kench consumed. They do get the tower, but what will they lose off the back of it? Furion trying to back away as fast as he can. Taunt onto Demo, but they will get the knock up onto the Burrow. As they see Hado and Tempo super healthy, flashing away. Flash goes in, Matt goes down in the mid lane while that all happens, but Tempo picks himself up one kill. Will not go for the second, or will he? He's super tanky already. Gets the taunt, only up to one, gets knocked up. Demo trying to do as much as he can. There's the Unbreakable. They are trying to keep going onto this to consume. Hado flashes away. They are going to get one. Fury and rejoins the fight. They are just so confident right now in what they can do. And Deadly comes over and says, hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah, don't mind me, I'm just going to join in to take this tower, but this is what we mean. One, Charlie T showing up yet again in this mid lane. Solo kills galore onto Matt. We've seen it last game and we're seeing it again. And now we're looking to the top side. This is what I was talking about that you're able to do with Tam Kench. You can take so many tower shots and stay underneath the towers for so long because you've got this reset, which is where then the Tam Kench takes over. Tam is so tanky, but Charlie T isn't.
Charlie T, he may be able to just about get caught. Latch does pick up that kill. Demo perfectly picking up the nice little knock-up. But again, just kind of overstaying, but doesn't really give them anything good. Piercing arrow across two means that Deadly actually might be in a little bit of trouble right now. Hado does keep him alive. Furion jumps in. They're trying to go for it. Glacial Fissure went down on the backside, but Demo is next to fall as Tempo comes in off the complete and other side of this fight. They do end up leaving it, but that is going to be mid lane turret going down. Camille, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, has the TP available, doesn't start to use it, just walks down. But to be honest, I don't think she would have been able to do it particularly.
Didn't have it available. It was like 15 seconds away.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It doesn't matter. Even if she had it available, I think you're just too late to that play. I mean, they had to have done something as they saw Furion coming in with the Rengar ult, but at that stage they'd already committed too heavily to Deadly. And to be honest, it's nice play coming out from Deadly. You can see that was actually coordinated. Hado stayed out of vision of Cyclone that entire time. So once Deadly went low and they'd fully committed to getting the kill, that's when Hado came in to gobble up Deadly and keep him safe. So they had preempted that. So this is just nice calls coming through from MNM.
History repeats itself. 4,000 gold coming up to the 13-minute mark, and this is just so hard to deal with. I actually kind of feel sorry for Deadly in this particular situation. He plays very, very well. He does everything he needs to do, but he gets none of the kills and none of the glory. He's just the utility AD carry that does everything but gets nothing in return.
To be fair, I mean, a lot of this is actually just play coming through from like support, jungler, and top laner. They're using these global ults very effectively, because if you look, bot lane, he went on the was jumped on by the Ashe. Instantly Tempo comes through with the Shen ult. They try, make the play in the top lane, and you end up seeing Hado's already there to help out Furion. Furion goes in knowing he's got that backup with his support coming. So it's this super calculated play that's coming through where they go just barely low enough, but have enough trust in Hado that he's going to be there when they need him.
Yeah, Hado playing an exceptional Tahm Kench game. Only gave up that one kill in the early game. That was just to a little bit of overcomplacency as he just walked into the jungle. As we see now, more and more pressure coming into this mid lane. Deadly, Hado, and Charlie T gonna try and make something happen. I don't think Latch can really stay here. Furion's off on the side. They have to give this up. No rotations. As I say that there, Furion jumps onto the backside. He gets out himself pretty damn easily. Matt gets caught up by the chains of corruption, and he jumps back in. Demo looking in. Great Glacial Fissure knocks up 3. Now it's looking like a little bit of a re-engage as MNM start to run away as fast as they possibly can. No! Shockwave means that Kerbos picks up a first kill. Exhaust on the Furion means he's going to be in a lot more trouble. Heal use as well by Deadly. Shut down onto Furion as Kerbos just about stays alive. Deadly has no flash, has no heal. Tempo though with a good two-man taunt as Ashe and Latch tries to go onto it. He just hasn't got enough damage as Tempo is running into it. Eventually Deadly goes down. Will they be able to take out this super tanky Shen? I think they should be able to, but eventually he picks up a double kill. Tempo 3-1-4. They do eventually get a 4-for-1. Sorry, 5-for-1, because Tahm Kench just actually went up, but, or sorry, 5-for-4. That was a bit of a scrappy fight.
Yeah, it was just MNM getting a little bit greedy. They should have just backed off after they got the turret, because they were so separated. It was an easy turnaround for Cyclone. They were able to just pick off everyone that they needed. And they needed to back up once they saw it going bad. Don't try and protect everyone in those situations. You're like, look, we messed up, cut our losses, and it's not nice, but you got to leave them to it. But at the end of the day, that's what has to happen. And now that the double Trinity Force has been picked up on the top laner and on the Corki in the mid lane, this is actually going to become a bit of a problem. Particularly Matt, we're talking about, was struggling in the mid lane. He's at 4-2-2.
Yeah, he picked up a hell of a lot of gold there and a hell of a lot of kills as he looks to kind of maybe make a bit of a play. And this is what you're talking about, this big, massive mid-game spike. You've got the Triforce on both your top laner and your mid laner. Dragon is available. It is only an Ocean Drake, so I don't, or not an Ocean Drake, sorry, a Cloud Drake. So I don't know if you're on the side of MNM if you fight this, but silver linings for Cyclone. That was an extended fight, but still, Shen is so big.
Yeah, I think in an extended team fight like that, it's going to be on MNM still. It just happened to be, ooh, Furion.
Oh, Furion gets a little bit caught. Ashe Arrow comes out, lands on the Hado. They actually lock him up nicely there, and Hado goes down. There is the explosive plant knocking them in. That's going to be a little bit of a free kill there, not respecting damage. And this is where MNM could actually fall back right now, because we saw them doing so well in the first game because they were so far ahead, but they're not as far ahead in this game. They need to be careful.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's still a lot of standing gold around the map for Cyclone. They're going to more than likely get this mid lane turret. It's just the oh, actually, Charlie T is here. He should be able to clear out the wave as well, but might have to be a little bit careful. Furion wants to go in on this one.
That was a really good Glacial Fissure. As soon as the Rengar ultimate came out, they immediately stopped it, but that mightn't be enough for Latch. Latch gets jumped onto twice and gets taken down 3 times the charm. Furion realized that was probably the bad thing, but never mind, we're going to jump back in again. As Braum throws out a present. There's a very late TP that's going to mean absolutely nothing. Tempo's going to back away as he TP'd onto the backside as well, but that's going to be mid lane turret most likely going down, and the tier 2 not that as well.
Yeah, you can see Tempo's just trying to zone them off here so they can't get in to stop this, and they're not in a position at all. You can see Corki only making his way from the bot lane now as well. This tower has already taken a lot of damage, but they will be able to come through on the backside. The minion wave is going low here though.
They should be able to pick it up, no problem at all. Tempo going to tank up that one. We are going to see the Camille trying to do something, and Again, good play there. Overzealousness there from the side of Cyclone, and they just leave Latch to die. There's no support for him whatsoever. He should never be away from the Braum.
He shouldn't be away from his team like that in general. I mean, when you know that you've got so much pick potential coming out, and you've got the ability across the board for multiple people to show up at any point in time, Furion's safe to go for these super aggressive plays, because you've got the Shen ultimate that can come through to save him, and then you've got the likes of Hado picking up either Charlie T or Deadly to just bring them straight into the fight. So suddenly, you know, you look like, oh, Furion's gone way overextended, we'll go in on this. Next thing you know, you've got the entirety of MNM running down your front doorstep. So they need to figure out a way to start playing around this, and it's not leaving your Ashe in the open like that.
Yeah. Love to see the stat gold for gold right now, because Charlie T has kind of fallen back a little bit. He's actually pretty much equal on gold now to Matt, despite that really good early start. The big advantage right now is in the top, the jungle, and in the ADC or not even support, only about 500 gold, but those 3 lanes are huge. So actually, when Matt probably started off with not doing a fantastic job, is now in a position where he has to carry.
Yeah, exactly, and that is not going to be with you in the top lane, as MNM are pushing in this mid lane. Tempo has already gone to the bot lane as well, shoving in that wave, and actually it looks like Corki might be getting collapsed on here.
He's going to back away, has got the Valkyrie as well. Just going to start up the blue buff. They may try and steal it off of him. Deadly going to try and go for something. Doesn't actually go for it in the end. Orianna, Charlie T going to steal that away. Actually, it's Demo who smites it away. Doesn't want to give it away to anybody on the side of MNM. Again, what can they do from here? MNM, they need to try and end the game very quickly. We're already at the 20-minute marker, just coming up to it. They've got a 5,000 gold lead. 4 towers to none, but haven't got the dragon. As I say that, though, we're going to see Hado getting caught out. There's the Glacial Fissure, but there's just so much healing and so much shield. Hado eventually goes down, but it's going to be Matt, the next one to follow. Furion is able to keep being a nuisance on the back line. Camillus does eventually pop down. Shen 1v1 the Camille on the side as well, and this is just looking like it's going to be going absolutely awful for the side of Cyclone.
That wasn't even with Charlie T. Charlie T had walked up to that top lane to try and push in the wave so they could try and get some pressure both in mid lane and top. But oh, that could definitely be... Furion is a little bit low, but he's got enough shields coming through. Tempo coming through with the TP as well. This is going to be going down. You've got nobody there to try and stop this.
Yeah, it's about 4,000 health, 3,000 and a half. They have got the Rek'Sai to deal with, though, right now. They may go for a little bit of a play. Do they try and stop this? There is a ward there in the backside. Does he go for it? Oh, he's too late. Just too late. He will fall for his efforts. And that is going to be a Baron at 20 minutes going over to MNM, and it's looking like the first game.
Yeah, you're asking how they can close this game out. That's definitely how you go about it. But yeah, Matt does have the package available. Furion and several of these, well, actually Furion is the only one who's really very low. I don't think you want to go for this, but you got to back as a team. You don't want to back in separate, because Matt can definitely engage on this.
Yeah, they can look for this. Furion's very, very low. They haven't got key ultimates. There's the Varus ultimate down as well. They try to just stop the engage. Camille left by herself, but Furion is the one who gets gobbled up as they see a piercing arrow going off on the side. Ash arrow swing and a miss right through the middle of the team. They got to back away. Shen going to go back to that bot side and split push all the way home. Proactive from Cyclone, but just not good enough.
Yeah, and that's it. They know that they can already lose these fights, even if they do have the numbers advantage. So Matt's a little bit slow to pull the trigger, but I think he made the correct decision there. They were trying to wait to see if someone would back on the side of MNM, but once they saw all the members were there, like, no, this is just a bad idea. They can take us apart too quickly, particularly when it's the Corki going in pretty much by himself with the package directly through the line. He can get burst down so fast.
Yeah, Subji Braum gonna scare away the Shen. Didn't have full vision as where everyone else was. Now sees Matt and Demo in that mid lane. So may go back down for that tier 2 turret. We are seeing a little bit of a slower game from MNM, but still foot on the gas, waiting to try and pounce on opportunities that Cyclone hand them. And it's just kind of happened every single time. Camille cannot fight Tempo right now. He's got a Sunfire and a Thornmail and a Tiamat. There's no way you fight that. You can't win.
And I think this is just MNM adjusting to what was happening. You could see them before, we're talking about it, they were throwing a little bit. They were just putting too much pressure, trying to take too much around the map. And this is why they're slowing down. They're like, look guys, this is actually something that could possibly happen.
Matt. Ooh, good move there from Braum. Does keep Matt alive, but that is going to be the second of 3 tier 2 turrets going down. Deadly just popping off on this Varus. 6, 1, and 5. doing a fantastic job to keep him and his team alive in this Premiership as they look to try and start knocking on the inhibitor doors.
Yeah, and actually it looks like they're... Oh, hang on, no. He's just going to take the tower. Not able to get Kerberos there, but this is where it actually becomes so nice to have the likes of Charlie T and the Orianna and Deadly with the Spars, because there's a lot of poke that can come down. Charlie T doesn't have to walk up the tower. He could just move the ball exactly like that and put the pokes in that way, but they're looking for the engage.
They're looking for the engage. Charlie T gets gobbled up and gets Shen ulted as well. They're trying to go for it. Hado will not fall. Shockwave onto 2, and it's just a massacre as it's 3 kills to none, and everyone on the side of Cyclone is being chased down. Charlie Chi picks himself up one as Matt, trying to do as much as he physically can, but there's just not enough for him to do. They're gonna lose an inhibitor turret. They're gonna lose an inhibitor. It is at the 23 minutes of the game, so they might be able to push for this. Charlie T is very low.
They do have the Baron though, and it's gonna be all on Matt. I don't know what he can do here. The poke coming through with them rockets is actually quite strong, but there they go.
Ultimate ace clean as you like it. Never mind, Corky gets killed off in the end, but it is going to be MNM taking down Cyclone. The Nexus is not going to be much longer for this world. Or will it? I like to be trolled every now and again. Nah, Shen's far too healthy, everybody. But at the end of the day, it is a clean and very convincing 2-0 coming out from MNM to end out our day at the ESL Premiership.
Yeah, and I mean, there was nothing that Cyclone could really do. They were behind. Even if they picked up the kill in the beginning, they just couldn't do anything with it. They were just out.
Oh,
They're like,
so good.
Oh, yeah. But that's what I mean. Charlie T just playing far too well in the mid lane, picking up consistently kills onto Matt throughout both games. Just solo, no problem at all. And then I'm loving the play that comes out from Hado in this game, where he's constantly moving around the map and utilizing what Tahm Kench is best at. It's that map mobility, but also the tower dive that you can do, because it's so easy, one, to reset, and then you've got the grey health that you can just pop to keep yourself healthy. And he was in almost every single play that we saw in the early stages of the game, and that's the MNM we're looking for, and I'm delighted to see them coming back.
Yeah, very clean play there. And what you said about it, so many of those plays, like we talked about earlier, is the MNM that we recognize from just being able to get into situations, get out of them with the sliver of health and still be able to win the fight, even if they lose 1 or 2. Like, this is just a perfect example. There's no way they can stop Fury, and Deadly comes in as well. And it's just, such accuracy with those piercing arrows. But the final fight, Cyclone's last stand, it was never really going to happen.
Yeah, and just talking about those slivers of health, the amount of times they played it so well where they'd go overly aggressive to bait in the enemy team, knowing that Hado was on his way, that it